Hey, welcome to Jimmy's Records and Tapes. I'm Jimmy Pardo. This week we're talking about 1995.
We've got it on vinyl, CD and cassette.
We've got pop, rock, heavy metal, punk, funk, rap, and new wave. All sales are vinyl, but you'll never regret all the music you get at Jimmy's Records and Tapes.
I'm loving music again. Hi there, welcome to Jimmy's Records and Tapes. I'm Jimmy, and I own records and tapes. Going to be talking about 1995, the final episode of this season, and I appreciate you guys for investing the time to watch and enjoy these. Hopefully enjoy them each and every week. Hopefully we'll do more of these in the future. There's plenty of records out there. There's plenty for me to talk about. But right now we're focusing on 1995. What was going on in the world? Well, the DVD was invented. The digital versatile disc was invented. So wrap your head around that, guys. eBay starts. And here we are, 25 years later? And I don't think I've ever had a smooth transaction on eBay. Either the seller is delayed on sending me something, or I ship something appropriately on time, and it gets delayed, and somehow I'm the jerk. And I always seem to be a little more patient when the seller makes a mistake than when the buyer is mad at me. Steve Fossett makes the first transatlantic balloon ride. I always thought that guy went around the world in 80 days in a balloon, but I guess it didn't happen until 95 when Steve found enough helium to carry him across the Atlantic Ocean. The old water, the sea. How I love it. But what relates to us is that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame opened in Cleveland in 1995, thus ensuring that every year somebody's going to get angry on who is nominated and then inducted. Every year, somebody's mad about, where's so-and-so? How dare, that's not rock, that's not, Just change the name to the Music Hall of Fame so everybody can shut up, right? Who cares, right? Give them their trophy, let them regroup and do a couple of tunes, unless you're Journey or Chicago. Kiss. The rest of you, enjoy your festivities. Enjoy your time at the podium. I like to thank this guy, I like to thank that guy. We're all thanking people, aren't we? In 1995, your money will get you this. $1.09 gets you a gallon of gasoline. Average house is going to cost you $113,150. And if you want to get a Saved by the Bell board game, well, that's going to cost $15. Let's say you're a shut-in. You don't leave the house. You want to watch TV. ER is the show that people are watching the most, along with Sonefeld and Friends. Go to the motion picture house, right? Hey, I'm not afraid to go out anymore. Toy Story, which allowed men to cry again. Bryan's song was the only other movie that I remember men being having the courage to admit that they cried when they watched. Toy Story was the same thing. Apollo 13 flew into the theaters, and then that movie 7 made people fall in love again with that Brad Pitt. Musically, here's what was going on. The top-selling song of the year was Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio featuring LV. And that's a sentence I never thought would come out of my mouth. And the best-selling album of the year was Hootie and the Blowfish, Cracked Rear View. The Grammy Awards were given to these two people. The new artist went to Alanis Morrisette, and the album went to the aforementioned Hootie and the Blowfish, who is not a person. They are a group of people known as a band. Their Cracked Rear View got the award for Best Album. And that is the album we'll be talking about today, Hootie and the Blowfish's Cracked Rear View. Now, here's the thing. You're going to say, but Jim, this was released in 94. Yes, I'm cheating. I'm 100% cheating. I did not discover this album until 1995, and I'm bending the rules. It's my show, my rules, man. This isn't the Senate. This went to number 1 on Billboard. It was produced by Don Gehman? Gehman? You decide. Probably local, right? Wherever you live, you decide how you want to say his name. Hootie and the Blowfish consists of Mark Bryan, Dean Felber, Jim Sonefeld, and of course Darius Rucker, who I understand also has a very successful country career. Musically, he didn't go off to a farm, and he's out there, at the break of dawn, rowing. Great songs on this album that I would listen to. And this is why 95, I moved to Los Angeles in 95, and this cassette, because David Letterman actually said, if you don't own this album, you're making a big mistake. I'm paraphrasing. So I said, oh, Dave says so, I must own it. And I went to Warehouse Records, and I bought it. And I would listen to it nonstop. as I would drive to and from auditions that I would get or not get, mostly not get. Great songs. You know them. Hold My Hand, Let Her Cry, I Only Want to Be With You. Again, sounds great here in the studio. I would listen to this and it would pump me up for auditions. And I would, when I first moved to town, I auditioned mostly for commercials. It's kind of people make a great living in commercials. I never really did. I never really broke through, but I would spend a lot of my time auditioning for them. And if you don't know what commercials are, they're like little movies. They're like little 1 minute movies. At least that's what I used to say to my dad. So he thought I was doing something with my career. And so I would circle around. And in my case, I'm not the tallest guy in the world. So it would be guys that would look somewhat like me, shorter stature, dark hair, anywhere from, unattractive to obviously internet-worthy attractive. And we would see the same, honest to God, the same 15 to 20 guys would be at every commercial audition because we were the type they were looking for. And so one audition I walked in and I said, well, it looks like another short freak convention in here. And a guy got in my face because we literally could go face to face. And he said, hey, man, I'm here because of my talent. I'm like, yeah, don't you have a headshot of you sitting in a shoe? It is time for this week's quick hit, and that quick hit is You Oughta Know by Alanis Morrisette. You might remember her from earlier. She won Best New Artist at the Grammys. I've mentioned over and over that 94 was a horrible breakup for me, and boy, is there any song that hits you in the gonads more than You Oughta Know when it comes to breakup songs? Again, when I would sing it, I would change genders and that sort of thing to make it more personal. But I would listen to this baby. When I was listening to Hootie and the Blowfish, I would listen to this song to get me angry, and then I'd go back to Hootie to make me happy and pump me up for those auditions. The one time I really remember listening to it was I was doing a gig in Madison, Wisconsin with my buddy Steve, and I was going to some therapy at the time back in Chicago to deal with that breakup. It hit me hard, you guys. And so I drove back from Madison to go to therapy, and I listened to this the whole way there, and I don't think that was productive. So, you know the song, right? It's off her Jagged Little Pill album. I guess they're doing a Broadway show about it. So if you want to live that song, go see that. If you just want to experience what I experienced, if you've never heard that song, listen to You Oughta Know, which may or may not be about a sitcom star. Thank you so much for watching this week's Jimmy's Records and Tapes, and thank you for watching the entire first season of Jimmy's Records and Tapes. I certainly hope to be back to do more of these things. I've enjoyed them. I certainly hope that you enjoyed them. Taking a walk down memory lane via my record collection. As a reminder, I'm loving music again, and this is just me sharing that love with you, the viewer. How does that sound? If you liked this, tell your friends about it. Click the like button. I'm on Twitter at Jimmy Pardo. Of course, my website is jimmypardo.com if you want to check out tour dates, links to other videos, merchandise, that sort of thing. I also host the weekly show, Never Not Funny, the award-winning podcast, along with Matt Belknap and Elliot Hochberg and Garen Cockrell. And we have a great time in there each week. And if you enjoyed this little bit, there's no reason why you won't enjoy that. So come and visit us over there as well. Until then, the record's really back in its sleeve.